everybody. So because we listened to the first podcast this morning, I'm very conscientious of when I start to talk way up here because I'm real excited. So I'm going to be way down here today. I mean, I'm just like, why is my voice so high when I get excited? Is that normal? Is it normally like that? Is it normally like that?
It's not like that.
All right.
Nope. You start talking like that and then we're all going to giggle at you.
It's going to be hilarious. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mondays with Marley. I'm Marley Bird. That's my BFF over there, right over there. That's Robin Chichula. And we are marleybird.com. And we're excited to join you every Monday at 12:30 Eastern time. You can come and join live, or you can always catch the podcast on the replay. And don't forget to always take a picture to show that you're watching the Mondays with Marley. So here's your picture time. Hey, everybody. Hey. All right, there's your picture. Okay. So make sure you post that on social media. Use hashtag Mondays with Marley, and you have a chance to win a prize. Robin, what a week.
I know.
What a week. Like, yeah. When I woke up this morning, I was like, what day is it? Because my weekend just went so fast.
Yeah.
So I was like, what day is today Monday? So I really did. I was like, it is Monday. Because I looked over, I'm like, John's not here. It has to be Monday. So I was just out of it. But I mean, wow. First off, so last week we released the Kimball Ford cowl.
Yeah.
And the Peak Serenity shawl. Those patterns.
Not that was just last week.
It was just last week. I know. They did so great. You guys were fantastic helping us share those patterns. Mm-hmm. Like, it was amazing. Thank you so much. You helped us have an outstanding February. Like, you wrapped up our February where we were like, oh, okay, we're actually doing okay. So thank you very much for all of that.
And a little pin on that.
Yeah.
Of like, I've been noticing in our Facebook group, everyone's helping each other with the Kimball Ford. And like, that just makes me so happy. That just makes me so happy. Everyone's like, no, you're good. And just like,
and it's so cute. Last Monday, because I wore it during the show Monday, so I had it on when I had to run out to go to practice. So I had it on at practice, and the kids were like, ooh, coach, what is that? Like, what are you wearing? And and then I had another kid. He was so funny. He goes, I thought you just did that crochet thing for fun. I didn't know it was like your real job. I was like, yep, that's what I do. So
that's so funny. I was just thinking about this the other day because Ellie does lots of sports, and like, you meet people and then like, you're like chit-chatting in the stands and stuff. And I don't ever know what to tell people what my job is, because it's like, I'm not an accountant. I'm not it's not like a regular job.
Right.
When I was an engineer, it was really easy to be like, I'm a structural engineer that, like, that I mainly do historic buildings. And like, it was really easy to say. But here I'm like, well, some days I'm a graphic designer, and then some days I'm an editor, and then some days I coordinate with social media. Like, I don't know what to tell. Like, so I usually just say, oh, I run a small business.
Oh, that's good.
Because it's like that general thing. Like, nobody believes you if you say you're a crochet designer.
Right. And
I never start with that.
In a crazy world, like, it doesn't even generate respect, which is another crazy thing. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, it's a craft. And so no one thinks it's
it's like, job. Oh, that's cute. Good for you.
Right.
So doing that.
Yeah. Like, it's always really weird of like, what to tell someone.
I get it. So this weekend, Josiah had a track meet. He had a conference track meet. So I went and I took one of my athletes, Jordan, with me. I also took KJ on Sunday, but Jordan was with me on Saturday. Kind of to connect the dots, guys. Jordan modeled what's the name of that vest?
Oh, what was that? That was
it's a Gilmore Girl name, so that's why I don't know it.
Yeah, which one did we go with finally? We went with
let me go look. I'll go look on Ravelry. Isn't that terrible, guys? This is how bad it is. I was really impressed that I remembered last week's stuff. I didn't even put it on Ravelry, dude. It's not even on Ravelry. I am winning all the way around. Anyways, Jordan has modeled for me. You guys have seen him, but even more importantly, or what you probably would recognize, is his sister Taylor, who is Josiah's girlfriend, has
Yeah.
modeled
She's modeled a ton. Yeah.
several
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah. But Jordan is the one with the beautiful
He's so
smile
cute. I
that
just
you
love
just
him.
want to like, oh, I just want to squish him.
He's
Just go
just the
squish him.
best. He's
He's
just the
a cute
best.
little boy. Yeah.
Anyways, so we're there at the track meet and I was waiting for Josiah to throw. And so I was knitting. And so I had grabbed one ball of yarn and some needle. And I was just doing essentially the Peak Serenity shawl. I was doing some garter stitch, but I'm not going to turn it into the Peak Serenity shawl because I just wanted something mindless, right? So I'm working on it. And this athlete from another team came up to me and she was asking me, she goes, okay, so I'm a crocheter. Do you crochet? And I said, yes. And she says, so obviously you knit, like, which do you think is easier? And I'm like, well, if I were to ask you, like, what's your personality type? Are you somebody, you very like, I like this very numbery kind of things or kind of artsy fartsy? She goes, well, I'm not really sure. I guess I'm kind of more creative. I said, then crochet is going to be easier for you. That's my experience. Like more to me, engineers, accountants, very, very regimented sort of, I want to know where my stitch is. I don't want to have multiple places. Like crochet can be really difficult for them. Not that crochet is hard. Please don't misunderstand me. It's not hard. So we're just talking. And so Jordan's next to me and he reminded me of Kaden because he leans in, he goes, you need to go look up Marley Bird. She's famous. You'll just go follow Marley Bird. And she goes, oh, do you have an Instagram account? I go, yeah, I do. She goes, okay, great. How do you spell it? I'm like, Marley Bird, like the animal. She's like, okay. So I see her go off. And if you're watching, hi. So I see her go off and she's on the stands and I see her pull it up. And so she's like this. She goes, like, oh, okay. But she never came back and talked to me again. I was like, she didn't come talk to me. But it was cute because like Jordan couldn't wait to tell her, you need to go look up Marley Bird. MarleyBird.com. Go look her up. So it was just adorable. So anyways, good stuff.
That's interesting. I never thought of like personality type of like what clicks with you, knitting or crocheting, how to describe it. Because for me, crocheting makes more sense because of the stitch diagrams. So for me,
it's like you have your building blocks for
engineers, architects, we all like it because you know exactly where you're sticking your hook.
Yeah.
Because you just follow the diagram.
When you have a diagram.
And I hate knitting because I only like knitting when it's a chart. Because if you don't have a chart, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly okay, you just told me to do this and I'm increasing. I want to see it.
Yeah. So and that's what's so funny is you're exactly right. A lot of very type A engineer, accountants, very numbery kind of people, scientists, lawyers even, they really tend to gravitate towards knitting. Or if they do crochet, they pick up charts like crochet diagrams because all of a sudden that's a building block to them. It's not just a bunch of words and they're able to like visually see where they're supposed to put their hook versus usually knitters, it's just wherever your stitches are on the needle. Very seldom is there like a, yes, there's fun stitches that you could do where you drop down several and pull up, but for the most part, it's just on your needles. So that's what I've noticed over the 17 years.
It's just interesting. Yeah. It's just so interesting. Cause like, I can definitely see it in like free form crochet, or organic crochet. I am not one of those people.
No, but here's a designer who's going to put all of that on its tail, okay? Because this is what I think of. Stephen West is a knitter with a crocheter's heart.
Oh, I can see that.
So incredibly creative. Yeah. And he's so outside of the lines on when he designs knitting that if he was doing that in crochet, we'd be like, yeah, it's crochet. But for knitting, and this is not diminished. I mean, he's brilliant. I'm not diminishing anything that he does.
It's like where you can see it.
You could just see he is a knitter with this creative crocheter's heart. At least that's the way I view him as. Yeah. So anyways, how do we get on that? Oh yeah, because I don't know her name, but she did follow me and I followed her back. So
that's really cute.
If she's watching, hi, how are you?
Sorry, I just derailed you. Anyway.
Yeah, it was fun. So it was a crazy weekend. I know that your daughter had a big weekend too in swimming.
Districts were this weekend in swimming.
Yeah.
So her team got to it was her first time competing. It was really exciting.
Yeah.
She also went to states with field hockey, but she was just the cute one on the sideline too. Like, cute. But she actually got to swim in districts.
I love it.
In swimming. So it was pretty exciting for us.
So I think this is the first weekend that I wasn't like working on work. We have been working on work. So I know you worked on it this weekend.
I worked this
But like
weekend.
I had to travel back and forth to Fort
Well,
Wayne this
now
weekend.
you're doing your other work.
Yeah, it's
And I
just
think that's the other thing when you like when people because like when you say you're coaching, it's like, oh, that's just you're volunteering, but that's actually your other full-time job.
it's another job. Yeah.
Because it's full-time right now. You're all the time coaching.
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
time.
I mean,
And,
you're definitely doing 8 hours a day.
yeah, it's a lot. I mean, but I love it. I've so many people have asked me recently, because they were like, "Are you going to quit?" And I was like, next year was going to be my last year, but it's not anymore because John gave me the okay to continue coaching, especially so I could coach Jordan. I know that sounds funny.
But I mean, they love you.
I know.
And
They
you
were
love them.
so happy when I told them. And Jordan keeps looking at John. He goes, "Yeah, I took your wife." I'm like, "Jordan, not to make it weird." He's like, "I did. I took his wife."
But it's so cute. Like, well, and you have to understand there's not a ton of people who truly can connect to that age range. 15 to 18 is a special age range. I mean, don't get me wrong. Middle school teachers, they're truly unique individuals.
Yes.
But there's so many people who are scared of high schoolers, which having a high schooler makes me giggle because I was like, they're little kids in just a big person body.
I love them.
They're still little kids. And so it's so funny to me because I'm like, oh, look at the little kid. Because they are. Yeah, they come in these big packages, but they're still kids and they still need all that love. And so it's cool. It's really cool because most people are like, okay, my kids are all in college.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it has, I don't know if I've said it on here before, but coaching has been the number one most unexpected blessing of moving to Indiana. Hands down. It's
there is nothing like working with kids.
Yeah.
And but truly working with them, they're just so special. It's just getting them before they're adults is something else. My husband's a coach too, and so we love it. I mean, love it.
Yeah,
amazing.
It's fun. So now I'm coaching. So when I went back and told the kids that I was coming back, they were very, very excited. Yeah, they're very excited. And
you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, and they know
not every coach does.
Yeah, I know. And I was trying really hard to find him a coach that could step in and that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
I might have an assistant coming on. I'm not sure. We're going to interview him, which would be a huge help. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, tell everybody you have like 30 kids.
I have 31 kids.
That's a lot of kids all throwing gigantic balls around.
And it's guys and girls. And so like, we have a lot of kids but they're such good kids and they help each other. And I don't know. I really enjoy it. I enjoy it so much. But the season officially starts for us next Saturday. So we had a mock meet on Friday to kind of get some numbers in, just to get some numbers for the start of the season. It was not I'm deciding who I'm taking to the meet because of these numbers. Like I already in my mind knew who I was going to bring. And it just so happened it worked out that the numbers worked out that same way. But oh my gosh, can we talk about when I think I'm a little bit of an empath, not nearly as much as my daughter, but I can feel emotions for sure.
Yes.
And so I'm there at the anxiety of all of these kids just throwing, it was off the chart. And I was like, guys, let's just take it down a notch. This is not that serious. Like, and if we can't control our emotions and our thoughts and our mental game here, like we're in trouble when it comes to the bigger situation.
Yeah.
I mean, I had people crying because they were so stressed out. Like I was just like, all right, we're going to have to do some mental preparation before we do some stuff. They all did great.
Sounds like you need everyone to do like a TikTok dance. Okay.
Something, man, they need to do something. It was so stressful. It was so stressful, but it wound up okay. Joey finished his indoor season. He did not have a good indoor season. It was a big struggle, but he's trying. He's doing the best he can, and we're moving on. So that was our weekend. That was our week. We had a huge week. If you guys are looking for or the Peak Serenity shawl or the Kimble Ford cowl. They are both available on my website. If you go to marleybird.com/blog, they'll be one of the first ones that pop up. Or you can always go look and you can do a sort through by free patterns. Like there's so many different ways to look it up. Both of those patterns are only available for purchase if you wanted to buy the ad-free PDF. They're only available on Etsy at this point in time. Someday in the future, we'll do a podcast on why I put things on Etsy first before I put them on Ravelry. It's a marketing aspect of it. It's not because
it's a whole part of the business.
Somebody once was like, do you not like Ravelry anymore? I'm like, no, that's not it at all. I love Ravelry. I love Cassidy and Jess. I think they're amazing. All of them. So it's nothing to do with that. But someday in the future, we'll talk about it. But if you want it, it is on Etsy. Yeah. Okay. What we're here for today. Because we told everybody, we teased them. Yeah. I had this big box of yarn. And then I hadn't opened it. Newsflash, guys, I opened it. I felt like Caden. Did I ever tell you the story of Caden when he was like maybe 7 or 8 years old? He was spending the night at my parents' house on Christmas Eve, or the night before Christmas Eve, because that's John's and my anniversary, right? Like, or the 22nd. And so my parents were watching the kids so that we could go out. Well, when I picked them up the next day, my mom was telling me how in the middle of the night, she got up to check on the kids and Caden wasn't where he was supposed to be, laying down. And she was like, what's happening, right? So she gets up to look for him and she was like, what is going on? No, I'm incorrect. He was laying down, but all the lights were on. And she was like, all the lights were off in the house. This is what it was. So she gets up to go downstairs to like check the doors, check everything. And she walks into the living room and there are presents unwrapped under the tree. They're all Caden's presents. And so she's like, what the hell? She goes back upstairs and she lifts the covers on Caden and he's wearing the new shoes that she bought him for Christmas. The next day he goes, Grandma, look what I got. I mean, this is my son. My son cannot hold a secret ever. Like if he ever goes to propose to his girlfriend, he's going to have to give me the ring and just be like, put it out of his head. Like he's not going to be able, because he cannot, he is so much like my dad in the sense that he cannot, like my dad would go shopping on Christmas Eve to get the stuff knowing that we're opening it Christmas Eve night. Because he couldn't handle it. He cannot handle it. Cannot. My son is the exact same way. Anyways, I kind of felt that way when I opened the box. I was like, I gotta see this yarn before I show everybody. So I have it. I'm gonna grab it. All right. I'm gonna move the pattern. I'll close it up like it's. See,
like you didn't open it.
I didn't open it at all. Not at all. All right. Can you guys hear me? I have the microphone moved. Yeah. Okay. So this little segment, you guys, is sponsored by Herrschners. And what's happening is Herrschners came out with a brand new colorway in their Herrschners Worsted 8 series of yarn. And every season they will come out with different stuff, different colors. They're always bringing in and out colors, yarns, whatever it may be. And this one, they thought it was great for spring to bring in a yarn that they are calling Wildflowers. So the idea behind it is the yarn colors, they're not quite pastel, but they're not quite brights. They're sort of, what would you call them? Like, they're, I don't know, when you see them, you'll see them, but they're supposed to remind you of wildflowers. And I could totally see that. Yeah,
they are 100% taken from true colors of flowers.
Yeah. And one thing that I learned with working with Herrschners, I'll get to this, I promise I'm going to open, is when they choose colors, they purposely will choose, say, like 8 solids, and then they'll pick 4 variegateds that combine those solids. That way you can pick a variegated color and know that if you get a solid in that group, they're going to match the variegated, which is fantastic. Because if you don't know, back in the day when I chose all the colors for the planned pooling yarn for Red Heart, I just picked colors. Like they didn't tell me to go pick colors of Super Saver to choose. I just picked colors that I thought looked good. And so when people wanted to pick solids, it was really hard to come to, and I was like, why didn't you guys tell me? Yeah. Anyways, so it's very smart that they do that.
Yeah, it is. It's right. The exact same colors.
I'm like, all right.
So in no particular order.
This is the yarn. So it is the Herrschners Worsted 8. Now, if you remember for the shawl and for the Kimble Ford cowl, look at you. We use the Herrschners Worsted 8 in Heathers. So this is the Herrschners Worsted 8 in Wildflowers. Now I'm going to turn my light off to see if the colors show up a little better for me. Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
So if you can see this, what's lovely about this yarn is it comes with an easy start tag.
Yep.
So there is a tag that comes out right in the middle. So you can start very easy on this yarn. Look how great it is.
And like it's not on like Marley's screen. Our screens look totally different. But
so like on my screen, what I see, it looks just like what this color is.
Not on either of mine. But like to me, this is bright. Like it's
bright.
Brighter than like a pastel peach or pink.
It's not salmon. It's a bright color.
It's bright. So like it's like when you're looking at them, it's hard to tell. But this is Wild Begonia.
Yeah, it's very nice. All right, so that's the first one. I really like this color, and the shawl pattern that we're going to do on Wednesday, it used this color. So we'll go back to that one. All right, so I'm going to go to this one here is Larkspur. It's a beautiful dusty purple color.
Yeah, that's what
this is gorgeous. I know all my purple fans out there would be like, this is the bee's knees. Very, very nice.
Because it looks like light violet on my screen.
Yeah, it's like a dusty. So and it has the center tab pull. This yarn, you can absolutely use it for anything, just like any yarn. But I would say this, I would use this for blankets. Like absolutely would make it for blankets. Or big cozy, like wraparound shawls, not a flimsy sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the yellow because I think this color, it's like a dandelion color.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it looks like they call it California poppy, but it reminds me of dandelion. It's a dandelion yellow. Oh, yours looks so different on your screen than mine.
I know it looks, but it's
that is wild.
It's not. I don't know. I clearly must have a blue filter, and you have like a golden filter, because like in real life, it doesn't look like either of these things.
Yeah. And I can't use my overhead. I don't know what's going on with my overhead camera. It tells me I'm in the wrong USB and I haven't changed anything. So
I will say I thought their colors online look similar to what they came.
Yeah, they're pretty true.
When I was looking at it online, I thought they would look pretty true.
All right. So this color, this
one is my favorite color.
It's very pretty. It's it's bluette.
This reminds me of almost a periwinkle.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more blue than periwinkle. This is royal blue that I'm wearing.
Yeah, it does look like that.
It's very pretty. It's a very, very, very pretty color. I mean, and you can match any of these colors together so far, and they're gonna look great. Look at that. My hook is like hanging on to it. That's you're so good. Your hook is gonna jump in. All right. Okay, so I'm going to keep going with the solids. So of course you want to have like a cream or a buff color. This one is called milkweed. It's definitely like a lighter Aran color. It's nice.
Oatmeal. Yeah, it's definitely.
Oatmeal. It's kind of oatmeal. Yeah. There's another yellow. This one's more like sunshine yellow.
Yeah, that yellow is bright. It's a very bright yellow. Yeah.
And that's what's funny. They called this one dandelion.
Oh, that's funny.
That's funny. To me, the other one is more dandelion. But when you put them together, this one's more orange. To me, this is dandelion.
Yeah. Just
right.
so you know, there's
not
two
to confuse you guys. The really bright yellow, they have labeled as dandelion.
Yeah. So we shouldn't have used that for.
I didn't even
the other one.
I didn't look at the names of the yarn, you guys. I just opened the box. So dandelion is the really bright yellow. The one that it's kind of like I guess when they're side by side, it kind of looks orangish.
Yeah, very much so. Mm-hmm.
California poppy. It's a very pretty color.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I like it a lot. Okay. Now we have like a dusty mauvish color.
Yes, which
rose clover.
Yeah.
Rose clover. My grandmother would have loved this color.
Yeah, it's perfect. Dusty mauve is exactly
Yeah.
describing it. Mhm.
Like those
Mhm.
two look good together. My grandmother would have been all about this. Like
Mhm.
it reminds me of like back in the 80s where they did the mauve and the peach all the time, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, so now I love this green because it reminds me of green tea from Chic Sheep. Like I love a bright green. I love a bright green. This is like new grass green is what it reminds me of. And it's called switchgrass. It
Oh.
is I love this. Like
Yeah.
I would wear this in a minute. In a minute.
So that's why like the collection is really interesting because it's like you were saying, it's not pastel
No,
and it's not
because you have like these
neon,
bright.
but you do have a little bit of neon and a
Yeah.
little bit of bright. It's like
Yeah.
it's a fun collection. It's a great spring collection.
All right. So now, so those are all the solids. Now we're going to look at the variegateds. I like this one. I think this one is out of all of them. I think this one's my favorite. This is called Petals.
Right. And
So this one has, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say, because it's so interesting because it is the exact same colors.
Yeah.
So like this one is the purple, the blue, the oatmeal, and I don't know what we're going to call it, the peach. So it's like the exact same colors.
All of those.
So it's really easy. You can take any one of those and then mix it with this.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's an easy, like, pick something.
You don't have to think too hard.
No.
Which is, I love that. So I like this one. It's pretty. I like this one too. Not that I don't like any. I like these ones though. You know me. I like lots of color.
Yeah.
This one is called Wildflowers. So it's called Wildflowers Yarn. This one is called Wildflowers.
Oh.
So this has like the mauve, the purple, the kind of the salmony color, and the blue. It's not salmon. It's like
I don't know what to call it.
I don't know what to call it
either.
It's not it's not tangerine. It's not what did they call it?
Begonia. Isn't that
Wild Begonia?
That's Begonia.
Oh, I could see that. I could see it as a begonia color. It's very pretty.
Now,
very bright.
With this one, I think I would pair that with the oatmeal.
That would be beautiful.
Like, of like where you have like it showing through because it's all of the colors. I feel like that would be nice.
Yeah, that's really nice. I like that a lot. All right, so the next two, they're really bright, and I love a bright color. This reminds me of really bright Easter eggs. I don't know why. It's called foxtail. There's a lot of the yellow, the two yellows that I got mixed up. They're in this one.
Yeah.
Along with the like grassy green color and the oatmeal color.
How does the blue or the mauve pair with that?
So let's go. Here's the mauve. I'm not really a fan of the mauve.
I'm not a fan of that with it.
Let me go to the blue. Blue doesn't go bad.
Yeah, it's not my first choice. Because I'm just trying to think of like that. That makes a great poppy color, like a pop on things. It's almost, but like I want something. I don't know what I want to go with it.
So this color is in it. I think that's really good.
I
wonder if you could get like a darker shade of green in just the other worsted 8, and this would be a good mix of.
That's what I want. Depth. Yeah, like a dark hunter or a dark like peacock tail. Ooh, that's what I want. A navy. I want something dark to go with it.
Yeah, for sure. And the last but not least, I love these colors together. This reminds me of in Chic Sheep. I saw these women, they made a little girl's sweater out of Mai Tai, which was like that orangey color that I had, and the yellow color, which was mimosa, I think. I don't remember. Anyways, the two colors look so good. And it would be like kind of like these two colors coming together, and they just look so good. Yeah. And then they put it together here with the mauve, the kind of darker mauve. It's nice. I like it. I also think that would be good.
Yeah.
I like that. You could probably pull in the purple.
I think I also would like it with like a gray, like a.
Oh, gray would be really great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But those are the lovely yarns. So this is the new Wildflowers yarn. So all of these are available right now at Herrschners.com.
Yep.
I've put my affiliate link in the video description box so that you guys can follow along with that, so they know that I sent you. That always helps. It doesn't cost you any more money, and it's all on sale today. Let me see if I can.
Oh, you should check that out.
I know. Hold on a minute. Let me.
Like if this helps, these are all. I'm missing the yellows over there. I couldn't shove it in my basket.
All right, I'm gonna try and do. How do I? Oh, I know. Give me a second. I got it. I got this. I got this. And then
look at you.
Oh. We're gonna play this game again. There we
are.
All
the buttons. Which one?
I know.
Which one is it?
I know. Okay, so this is the Wildflowers yarn on the Herrschners website, and you can see it retails for $7.99. And remember, it's 8 ounces of yarn. Like, it's a lot of yarn, but it is on sale for $4.97. Like,
Cindy was asking how many yards. It's 489 yards, so almost 500 yards.
Yeah,
11 short of 500 yards. It's an 8-ounce ball. It's a chunky lady.
It's big. But here's all the colors. Like this, if this might help you see the colors a little bit better. This one here is the one that I was like, reminds me of a dandelion, but this one is called dandelion.
And that the colors online are exactly what they are.
Yeah, that's what they look like.
Yeah, they did a
great job. Like, that's hard to do.
That
is so hard to do. They did a great job. But these colors, like, they look really great together. And like, they go with the other worsted 8 yarns that they have. So like, if you wanted to look at just the worsted 8, you know, you could look at what other colors that they have available. Like we were talking about looking for any of these teals or a dark hunter or
midnight is lovely.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of colors here that don't be afraid that, oh, I only have to use the wildflowers. You don't. You can mix and match that in wherever you want. There are a lot.
That's so interesting because none of these colors are in the worsted 8.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's wild that they can do that. Now, I am going to let you guys know, for all of you who use the heathers, the heathers is slightly different than this yarn because it is heathered. So let me kind of get back to my face here. There I am. And let me see if I can find you. There you are. Well, we're not on circles. I don't even know where I don't know how to get circles. There we got circles. No. Okay. They don't have any names on them. There's just images.
I know. I see.
It's wild. I'm like, I don't know which one it is.
Clicking on the buttons.
I was gonna get, so you know, like, here's the heathers. You can see it has like some like flecky depth to it, right? The wildflowers or the worsted 8, just the solid colors, they are solid colors. So just know that. So those of you who bought the heathers, if you don't want to mix and match those kind of looks, you just be aware of that. Not that they're going to look bad together. That's not what I'm saying. I just want you to be aware.
They're different yarns.
Yeah.
They're like, don't go into it thinking it's the same yarn. They're different yarns. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause they just look different. And I'm going to look here at the front. So they are having a We Love Yarn sale over there. I'm going to go back to sharing this view, and we're going to go back to this view. All right. I know it's not super big, but maybe, yeah. Okay. They have an I Love Yarn sale. Do they have a discount code by chance for, now those are adorable. Those, I would make those. These are all the wildflower colors.
I'm like,
yep, there you go. Those are all the wildflower colors. So we can click on that. Like, if you guys haven't had a chance to go and just look around Herrschners, you can come over here and just check out a bunch of different patterns, yarns, a bunch of different things. And when you sign up for their newsletter, you guys, they do send out coupon codes quite often with discounts for shipping if you order like a certain amount. What is that? That is great.
I know.
I love me a fashion yarn. So just take some time, go check everything out. It's a wonderful website. We've talked about this last week too, where if you're looking for, oh my gosh, I hate when I have to do this. I'm like, where am I going? If you're looking for some place that is trusted to get your yarn, because we know Joanne is going away, I 100% can recommend Herrschners. They've gotten the yarn to me really well. I've had no issues.
I ordered all of these because I wanted to see how long it would take to get to me. And because they sent me this, but we have a design that we're working on, and I a lot of times don't like all of the extra yarn because I don't have anywhere to put it. But I wanted to order it just to see how long it would take a customer to get it. And I didn't do like rush shipping or anything. I just did like regular. And it was definitely, for me, it was definitely like less than 4 days.
Yeah, it was good.
So
Mindy,
I don't know. That to me seems pretty great.
This is a good point. So I want to mention this because this was something that I learned too. Their Herrschners Worsted yarn comes in worsted 3, worsted 8, worsted 12. And that refers to the put up amount. Yes, so it's 3 ounces, 8 ounces, 12 ounces. So if you're getting a 12 ounce, that's a big one. that's a big bowl of yarn. And it's good yarn. It's good stuff. It's their staple yarn, you guys. It's a staple yarn. Yeah. But that is the Wildflowers yarn. We're very excited to be using it. We will be using it several different times this month. One time is going to be next Wednesday. Now I'm going to put myself full screen again.
I think it's this Wednesday. It's not next Wednesday.
Yeah, this Wednesday.
2 days from now.
I mean, I just referred to it incorrectly. I know that it's Wednesday, but I said next.
Fine.
Because
I was like, next Wednesday, I think
you won't pick up when I do an extra chain. The word next. Yep. Awesome. Here I am. Okay. Wednesday, March 5th, we are going to do a live lunch and learn on how to make this lovely shawl. This is the Wildflower Wonder shawl, I think. Wildflower Wonder. It was that. I got to pull it up. I had the pattern.
Yeah, I had the pattern up, and then
I had it up. Wildflower Wander, Wander shawl. Wander shawl. Yeah. But this is made up of these really great squares, crochet squares, and it uses 3 different colors of yarn. So it has 1 of the variegateds and then 2 of the solids. It's very nice. It's very thick. I would love this as a blanket. Like,
yeah, I would totally make this
I would love it as a blanket. Yeah. Or if you make it like this would make a nice little lap blanket for somebody who might be using a wheelchair. You can just kind of tuck this underneath, like it feels really good. Feels really good. So we're going to learn how to make this stitch. Now I would show you on my overhead camera, but it is not working. I will have it working by Wednesday.
Yeah. So it has a ton of great texture. So yeah, we have puff stitches in there. You have back post stitches in there. So because there's so many fun stitches in there, Marley's going to do a whole separate lunch and learn. Instead of trying to like squish it into a short one today, we're going to do a full one on it.
And I have asked Robin if she will make charts for us so that we'll have a chart for the triangle and the square. We will be able to use those stitched, I keep calling them charts, the stitch diagrams. So that way we can use those. So I'll have those on my own website so that you guys will be able to use that as along with the pattern. This is just fun. So this is what we are going to make. That's what we're going to make.
I think it's great.
I like it. Now let's find you again. Hey, I did the circles the first time. Look at me. Look at me. So it's very fun. I could see a lot of different colorways used to make that shawl. I think that would be a lot of fun to whip up. And like you said, when I was looking at it, there's so much texture. There's so many learning possibilities with it. So I'm very excited to show you guys how to do this. Yeah. The colors of that shawl, that would be, let me go back. I'll show you. I'm going to go back and get the names.
Right. It's Wild Begonia.
Mm-hmm. Rose Clover,
Right.
and Wildflowers is the
Yeah.
variegated.
But
And
I'm
it's
going to
one
say,
ball each.
if you're learning, don't use the variegated, please. Let's learn on a solid color first, because I noticed that a lot of like the puff stitches and tall stitches are in the variegated in the pattern, and that can be super confusing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to like warn people, like if you're going to try it with Marley on Wednesday, just grab some just random balls of solid color worsted weight yarn.
Now, I did put the supply list in the video description box if you guys are interested. It is listed down there, so you could go check it out. I am also going to grab a link to the game day pattern you are wearing. You want to tell them what you're wearing? They're all asking.
No, this is Turkey Trot.
Turkey Trot. I'm sorry, I meant Turkey Trot.
Yeah, this is Turkey Trot. This is what I was using in what is it called? It's not actually the yarn that we use for Turkey Trot. It's the yarn that I used for the overhead videos that I was doing. So it's much fatter so that I could show you easier, because we used a different, I think this is the one that we use the alpaca on, right? I'm pretty sure we use upcycled alpaca from We Crochet, which was lovely and gorgeous. And I just used basic acrylic yarn so everyone could see it really bright.
What year was that? I'm going to look, because it's only available, that pattern, guys, is only available inside of the Marley Birdhouse in the whole Turkey Trot.
Yeah, this one has a ton of videos.
I found it.
Okay.
20. All right, so I'm going to go get it.
2022?
2022. Time flies when you're having fun.
I thought like I was, because I remember making like working along on a different one when I was at, I think it was the first Thanksgiving after COVID that we were all back together. My family.
All right, and that would be, did we name it? I'm just putting the link in there, y'all. I don't know what the name is. It's in what I'm sending you. I don't remember the name. We can't remember names. Don't ask us those questions.
Did you see what just happened?
No.
So we should tell everyone. Our technology is going cuckoo banana pants.
What just happened?
So for whatever reason, my camera just decided I'm done. And like it was like it gave me like all this like you did not give permission for blah 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 blah, and I was like, oh my gosh, nothing changed.
What in the heck? It is. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Like it's just like the overhead. I turned on the overhead. I've changed nothing in the setup at all.
No,
and because I wanted to be able to show the stitch, and it was like, no, you have it in the wrong port.
Yeah,
no, I don't. I've had it there for like 5 years. What are you talking about?
Nothing changed.
Who the heck knows? I mean, just this morning, it's like my computer forgot the password to my email, and I couldn't. I was like, well, you're supposed to remember that, not me. So it took forever to find that.
It's crazy when stuff like you're just like,
this.
I don't know. Anyway.
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
Wah, wah. Anyways, so yeah, there you go. That is what Robin is wearing. It's super cute. If you guys don't know, these cowl type pieces that she's wearing, and that is part of that Turkey Trot. I mean, those are essentially like quintessential Marley Bird style accessory stuff that we do. We like those.
Yeah.
Just like when we do a lot of crochet sweaters, we do our one pieces typically. We do a lot of that, and so it's fun. Knitting, I'm all over the board.
Like what wearing. You're wearing one.
Yeah, this is a one piece as it comes. I love this piece. I love this. Very, very bummed that this yarn has been discontinued, but I love this. It's good stuff. Okay, so we did the unboxing, and I know that last week we talked about whips. Do you want to choose a whip winner?
Yeah. So, like I have been saying, and
this is Robin's "I told you so" moment. So everybody, sit back, relax. Be prepared for her to tell Marley, I told you so, because this is what's coming.
So Marley said in her first episode that she needed a little bit of body doubling. She said she was going to show us her whip So be like, look, guys, I'm making this. And then if you show her yours,
Good.
we can all kind of work together. So first off, Marley, show them the whip that you've been working on that you just showed me this morning.
Oh, I just put it over here.
Because she just, it was so, because this morning she was like, oh, I was working on this over the weekend because it was just sitting at me.
Yeah. So essentially, I don't even remember what we named these things. If you got the Jolly Holiday, you got this hat pattern and then this mitt, but this is the child mitt, so it doesn't fit me, right? So like that's why all the pictures are flat, like, because it doesn't fit. It's the child size because it needed to be done fast. So I wanted to make an adult size. So I was like, you know what? I have all the yarn sitting out. I needed to put away. So I started making the adult size. I'm so in love with it. Now I can't wait to make the next one. And it's so bad. So it's almost done. Clearly you can see that the mosaic's nearly done
at the end. Yeah.
And then the thumb, but so this was the whip I was working on, and it uses 2 different yarns. And so then I just put it in my bucket here. So that way it's all together. Because my plan was, I also put the pom-pom on the hat, which I thought looked really good, because my plan was to take a picture of the hat on me with at least just one up so that we could get a picture. And then I liked it so much. I'm like, well, I'm going to make 2. So
well, it's perfect for coaching because it's still chilly.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was like, well, it's cold outside. I'm going to be able to wear this. So I'm very excited. So that's my whip I've been working on.
So on our whip segment, Marley's going to show us a whip.
Yep.
And then we're going to go pick a winner.
Can I just also show you? So we were on a deadline as I was making the child size, right? And I was going to Disney. So I was making it on the plane to Disney. And I finished on the plane. And then I looked at it and I was like, that's not the right mosaic stitch. So I cried. I did. Look at this. It's all done without the thumb. So I cried, and then I started the next one, and I finished this one sitting in line waiting for one of the railroad rides. I don't remember. But anyways, you can see one is not like the other. What happens when you're really tired? So I have a random one-off child size. Okay, I'm getting distracted. I'm gonna go pick a hashtag Whip Marley. That's so funny. I don't know why it just tickles
But that's
me.
why you named it Whip Marley.
Oh God,
you would remember.
Oh, it's just so funny. All right, I'm gonna go like this, and then maybe I can present share screen. Let's hope. Okay, I'm gonna go like. Is that working?
Oh, I was Googling hashtag Whip Marley myself.
Okay, so the hard part here is I gotta hold on. I want to be able to see you guys so that way I can see what's happening. So hold on. All right, so now I'm over here and I gotta close this down a little. Does that make it too small? Okay. I actually really like this because I have never seen anybody else make one of these. So I definitely wanted to pick this one as a Whip Marley. So this is the City Tweed Chevron Cowl. This, I think, was in the first or the second Stash Busting Quickies. And it's like one of my favorite pieces. I just think it is so pretty. And she made it. And I'm like, I love that. So I definitely want to give a prize to Alice Wilson for finishing up her City Tweed Chevron Cowl pattern. It says that she modified it. She frogged a whip and changed the project and determined the length of the beginning colors, changed the amount of yarn length that she from the whip and continued with the random repeats. And I only used the first part of the pattern for the repeat. Because on the other one, I think it's big chunks like this. And then it goes like 2-row stripes or something. Like it was a mix up of things. But I thought this was really cute. So I wanted to give her a prize. So let's tell her winner, winner, chicken dinner. Winner. Well,
if you guys are in the Marley's Minions Facebook group, you'll definitely see hashtag Whip Marley a lot. There's a lot of them, and I won't lie, they're fantastic to look through.
Yeah.
There's some really creative, beautiful projects. Like I have a gigantic bucket of whips currently staring at me, and I'm like, ooh. Wonder what I should grab out.
Copy all that. All right. So now we've told her that she won. Hopefully she believes me. All right. So I'm going to just keep scrolling here because there was another one that I saw. You guys can see there's so many whips.
There's some just wonderfully creative ones. They're just it. And again, it's just whatever you're working on. Whatever you're working on, just show us.
Okay, so this was the other one I wanted to pick.
Because of the
I'm sure you can't imagine why.
This is, if you were asking me which one, like if I got to choose, this is the one I was going to choose.
Okay, so if you guys don't know, I love this series. I think it's amazing. So I love the fact that she finished a dragon. And so this is Ashley Watkins. It says, I finally finished my dragon and I had some help with taking photos. Your dog is precious. The pattern is Crochet by Gina. I don't know who that is, but good for her. I have to go check it up. And it's adorable. Adorable. So you are the other lucky winner. So those are going to be my 2 winners this week, if you're cool with that. But take your time, guys. Like, go look at all of the whips people are working on. And don't think that, oh, it's too late. You know, I'm going to go through all of these continuously. I'm going to just, I'm just going to go back and forth. You never know when I'm going to pick anything. That's really pretty.
While you're picking, isn't that bead reminds me of the game day bead?
Yeah, it does.
While you're picking, why don't we pick Marley's one?
Ask Marley.
Not Ask Marley. The one where they take a picture.
Oh, Mondays with Marley, right?
That one.
Yeah. That one. So many hashtags, so little time. All right. Well, clearly Lonnie is on it for today. She's like, let's go. Lonnie's like, yep. Look at me. Look at me. All right. I am going to close my eyes. You tell me when to stop.
Oh, this is fun.
I know.
You go so fast. Stop.
Okay. I let go. So we're here.
Yeah.
Carla Riker. She didn't win before, right? Like, we're good?
Not that I know.
I don't see it. All right. You are the lucky winner. So I'm going to go like this. You have won Mondays with Marley. Cool. So she's going to get a prize too. Cool. So there we go. We look at us giving away prizes. Look at us. Look at us. On top of that, we also want to mention, because Chrissy asked us to mention that people that she has reached out to for the One Ball Wonders prizes, not everybody has reached back out to her. So she gave us a list. Let me go find it. Okay. So it says One Ball Wonders on Facebook. It's Christina, Stacy, Rusila, and Tabitha. All of them have contacted her. Okay. But on Instagram, I don't know. We don't know if people think it's a scam or not, but it's not. So if you're watching and you're on Instagram, please go check and see if Chrissy reached out to you. I'm going to copy all of these and put them in the comments so that way you guys can see them too. Okay. So we have Kel's Bells Creations, Footprint Butter, KS Dane 72, AMLEKALO, so Amlicalo, maybe. And then JC Gray. All of you guys were One Ball Wonders winners also. So Chrissy reached out to you. I wish I knew Chrissy's handle. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. But when she reached out and she was like, hey, you're a winner, you are. And feel free to reach out to contact@marleybird.com. If you're ever in doubt, that's our email. That's where Chrissy and Sharon pick up. So if you're ever like, hey, I saw this, is this real? Always reach out to contact@marleybird.com and they'll get you all situated. So congratulations to those lucky winners.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You got a ball of yarn and 2 patterns coming at you.
Yeah. All right, Robin. Last week, we mentioned that we were going to talk all about socks and get the sock workshops out, ready to go for the make-along. The make-along here. I'm going to put us, I got to see you. I don't want to see the circles. Okay.
So first things first, before we get into the sock workshop, don't forget the One Ball Wonders. We're now doing socks. Now it's the socks challenge.
Yes.
So just saying, if you're thinking of joining us and what we're going to talk about, it does count.
Yeah.
You just have to post
Yep.
when you're done
Yep.
and you made your sock.
Yep. And I put both the links in the video description box below, so you can click on those links.
And like those prices, the One Ball Wonders and the Cozy Socks and Slippers, you get yarn.
Yeah.
So it's not just getting a pattern from us.
Yeah.
You get like yarn. All of the Marleys, like the whips, the Ask Marley, the Mondays with Marley's pictures, those are all patterns. Then the Herrschners ones are yarn. So it's like the two different giveaways. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
here we go.
Now let's talk about what we're going to do on the 14th. It starts March 14th.
Okay. So I'm going to pop this up here. This is the Treat Your Feet Mystery Make Along. That's what we're calling it. You can see here there are 6 different courses. So there's 3 knitting courses and 3 crochet courses. Each one is sold separately. Clearly, those are really small images. You will get a bigger image when you click on the links and stuff. But essentially, we know that you guys love making socks, love learning how to make socks, and they could be a very scary thing to make sometimes.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I find them very therapeutic, especially as you start making them more and more. So we decided when we were going to do the Buy Crafty Bestie box that we wanted to make socks this time around.
Mm-hmm.
And when we sold the Buy Crafty Bestie box, we sold it with 2 of the patterns. So if you bought the aromatherapy, you got both the aromatherapy knit and the aromatherapy crochet sock. If you bought meditation, you got those 2 socks. If you bought tranquility, you got those 2 socks. Knowing that the make along was coming and everybody who didn't get the Buy Crafty box, they can still join us just by buying the pattern.
The pattern they like. Yeah.
Now, I want to be very, very clear here because you might look at the price of $20 and think, I'm not spending $20 on a pattern. This is more than a pattern. This is not just oh, here's this pattern. It's more than that. We have broken down every section of the pattern to not only explain to you how to do the pattern. I'll talk about mine because you could talk about yours.
Well, yeah, what I want to do is I want to go one by one to talk about each so that everybody will know which one they want to buy because they're all very different.
Yeah.
But generally in the courses, it's not a pattern. If you think about game day and you think about turkey trot or you think about first fall, those aren't patterns.
Nope.
They're courses. It's the same thing. This is a course.
Yep.
And it just so happens. So we could make it as cheap as humanly possible. We're letting you choose your sock. Because you know us. Like normally we would have grouped them all together. It would have been a crochet one and the knit one.
Mm-hmm.
But for us to do it, it would be like $60. And you're like, that's expensive.
It is expensive. It's expensive.
So I didn't want, neither of us wanted everyone to like have to make this choice, but we're like $20, as Marley always says, that's cheaper than going to go buy Wendy's.
Yeah. I spent $19 at Subway.
Yeah.
I went to Five Guys yesterday, which, side note, I don't like. I went because John likes it, and so does KJ and Jeremy or Jordan. So we went. The burger I got was $10.75 just for the burger.
Yeah.
I didn't even eat the whole thing. You know what I mean? So
you don't eat a lot anyway. So I would think it's funny.
I know.
You need somebody to split.
It was funny. I cut it in half on purpose because it's just easier for me to eat. And so I finished my half and it's a double patty. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
You can choose what you want. Yeah.
Nobody told me this. Again, I don't go there. I don't like their food. So I cut it in half knowing I had a double patty. Yeah. I ate half of it and John's like, well, I might eat that half. And Jordan's like, if you don't eat it, I want it. Like, it was funny. It was like I was at the table with my sons because they were all like fighting who was going to get the food. Anyways, yeah, it's cheaper than a meal. If you guys, I mean, look at the price of Culver's. Have you been to Culver's? You're not getting out of there for less than $30.
No, it's so hard.
Unbelievable.
Anyway, so like the whole idea with making it, like, because our patterns are not normally that much for, like one thing, is that it's an experience. It's something that you're going to do over a weekend, like a long weekend. And we're going to start it on the 14th, which is a Friday, and then it'll end on Monday. Obviously, you bought it so you can do it whenever you want. It's not like If you want to do it for the Herrschners challenge, that goes until the end of the month. So you got like 2 weeks. But if you want to do it, 2 years from now, it's still yours. So let's just choose one sock at a time.
Okay.
And so here's the deal. The courses, in terms of, they all will include an anatomy of a sock. What are the different components? They're all going to include like things that you need to know if you haven't done socks before, of like, what's the difference between toe up or cuff down? Like, it all includes that type of general, but then it's going to go into details for each one.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's start with aromatherapy.
Okay, fabulous. So this one, if you're looking for the easiest crochet one, this is it. So it's cuff down. So like the first day, you're just going to watch the beginning videos and you're going to do a cuff. It's not hard. And then the next day, we're going to do the leg. The next day, we're going to do the foot, because this one has a replaceable heel, or you can think of it as an afterthought heel, or whatever you want to call it. You're going to have a giant hole in the heel and we just skip it. And then the last day you do the toe and the heel. But this one, when I say it's easy, there's no crazy stitches. It's hard to tell on there, but the light blue periwinkle sky blue yarn, it's actually a textured stitch pattern. So it gives like a little bit of a raised feel to it. And when you're thinking of making a sock, like this is toe up, or in crochet, in my mind, toe up or cuff down. The only difference in level of hardness is if you find it easier to decrease or increase. But that's it, because the way that I do my socks, the increasing is on the bottom of your foot, or decreasing, in this case, is on the bottom of your foot. But that one is easiest, has the simplest stitches. It doesn't have it's not really like a stitch pattern per se. Mm-hmm. So that's mine, if you're trying to like think of ease. Okay. So then your aromatherapy, not the same.
Not the same. So
I would not call it the easiest one of the bunch.
That's funny, because I would.
Oh.
I think it's the easiest. I mean, yeah, I would absolutely call that the easiest.
Okay, well then I'm totally wrong. Okay, yours is also cuff down, right?
To me, because I think a heel flap is very easy. You don't have to worry about short rows.
See,
and
like
just did stockinette down the foot.
Yeah, I always think heel flaps are hard.
Oh, I think I think short rows are hard. Just
again, it's crochet brain versus knit brain. Yep. It's a totally different brain. Yep. Okay, so go through it one by one.
So mine is also cuff down. So you'll start here at the cuff, and I did 2 colors just because I was like, I'm going to just do something fun. And it's 2x2 ribbing on this one. You can make the cuff longer if you wanted to. You can make the leg longer if you wanted to. Yeah. It's totally up to you. What I love about this stitch pattern, I loved knitting this sock. This was my favorite sock to knit. And when I found this stitch pattern in a Japanese stitch dictionary, I was like, that is so cool that it's slip stitches, right? Combined with the garter stitch for the little blips. And I just had so much fun. Texture. Yeah. There's texture here. I had so much fun doing this. This is the same stitch pattern we used for game day, because I loved working it so much. So what's nice is a lot of you made the game day hat and you were like, this is so awesome. I'm like, I know, like, it's so fun. So then you get to use it on a sock. And so just like Robin said, we work on the cuff, then we work on the leg, then we work on the heel and the heel turn and the gusset stitches, right? Very easy stockinette down to the toe.
Don't worry if you don't know what any of those words
mean. I got you covered.
She's just pointing to it really quickly, but that's what's all in the class.
Yeah. And then I did a basic, I think it's called a wedge toe. It's just, you do the shaping on 2 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you come down, so it goes all the way down to the tip of the toe. And I work this up on double pointed needles. Now I say that because there are people who are completely anti double pointed needles. And if you're familiar with how to work with 2 circulars or magic loop or one tiny circular, you can transform this to work with those tools, obviously, but the course is made for double pointed needles, meaning that's what I'm going to be demonstrating on. Okay. I'm not going to make alterations of, I'm going to do all these different ways. I'm showing it on double points, but you can change it if you want. I'm also going to add a little note to Robin stuff. We had a request last week that we also provide left-handed videos. When I edit Robin's videos, I will do some reverse videos so that we can show left-handed. So I will add that. That'll be in all the crochet courses. But to me, this one is the easiest. And Lindsay just popped in here and said that there are some aromatherapy bestie boxes still available. If you want to get a bestie box, just remember it comes with the yarn, it comes with the socks, and it comes with both of these patterns. So you get both of these workshops. So if you're already looking to spend, like maybe you want both of these, that's $40. Look at
Then
getting
you're gonna
the
get the
bestie
yarn,
box.
the bag, the keychain, the stitch markers.
Look at the bestie box. So that's that. All right. So let's go to meditation next. And as you're talking about yours, I'm going to go put the link and make it live.
That's fine. I actually have mine, so you don't have to hold it up.
All right. Then I'm going to have you go full screen. If I can find the mouse. Where's the mouse? I literally
I can make myself go full screen. Well, I made you go full screen.
I don't know where my mouse is.
That's very funny. I'm going to go back.
Okay. I found it.
Okay. So now you have to make me go full screen.
I got you. I got you.
Funny. Why would it go backwards like that? Anyway. Okay. Meditation. Meditation is also cuff down. Meditation isn't as easy as aromatherapy only because we have a much more exciting stitch pattern. Is this a hard stitch pattern? No, we're doing socks. This is what I would call like the classic look of crochet. I wanted a sock that had classic crochet shell lace pattern. So the leg is all with, our beautiful shell stitches. And it's a lace, but it's not like, like huge holes. It's just, very light. Start at the top. We're going to work our leg. This time, this one is a short row heel. So you work your leg and then you immediately work your heel. I'm going to say in crochet, it's really easy. Just saying, sorry, knitters. It's really, really easy. And then we work our foot. So you'll notice in all of my foot, all of them, it doesn't really matter what we're doing. I always have the stitch pattern up top, but the bottoms are always something solid. In this case, it's single crochet and extended single crochets because I don't always want to have that stitch pattern on my foot. Like I really like the way crochet socks feel. They have a totally different feel than knit socks, but I don't want a ton of texture on the bottom. So like it's a very lovely, that's why there's always stripes on the bottom. And then the toe is just like the knit toe. It's also a wedge coming down. So that is, and then we just have a little picot cuff on the edge, on the top. That is my meditation. And I will say, like, this one was my favorite one to make, hands down. But I also love making shells. So big surprise there.
All right. So I'm going to go back to that. All right. So here's mine. Again, cuff down. For me, this one was the trickiest one to make because it's chevrons, but can you see it's illusion where one side looks like it's more like a line of the lighter pink and the darker pink?
Yeah.
So what it is each side of like this here has it's raised up in one color and the other is the opposite color is raised up. So you're not only doing chevron, but you're doing illusion knitting. Can you see that?
Which is so much fun. You're learning another technique.
Yeah. And it's done with 1x1 twisted rib at the top. You don't have to you could do whatever you want, but it's just 1x1 twisted rib. The stitch pattern, it's a 12 stitch repeat. So it's a, pretty nice size. Really fun stitch pattern. I brought it down. I wanted to do a different type of heel. And so I have a larger instep and one heel type that is very forgiving to larger insteps and very nice for just foot anatomy in general
Yeah.
is called The Sweet Tomato Heel by Kat Bordy, who was a genius. We both knew her. She was delightful. She was
Wonderful human.
literally a genius.
Yeah.
And so instead of trying to show a typical short row heel where you can make all these different adjustments, which are possible, which are great, I wanted to do something that was, you know, pretty generic, but fit like a majority of people with this style. So I did the sweet tomato heel, and you could be like, why is it triple colors? Well, when you do this heel, it's a wedge. All these are make each of these wedges using a short row sort of technique. But in order to start and stop each wedge, you have to go around the whole sock and back to the start. And because I wanted to continue the pattern down the top of the foot, and I had to maintain the 2-row repeat here, I had to do a triple. Does that make sense? So if you decide you don't want to carry this pattern down the top of the foot for the same reason Robin was just talking about, sometimes you don't, like, this is textured. Maybe you don't want that on the top of your foot. Totally fine. You could do this whole turn with just one color and make the rest of it. You could do it stripes. You could do it just stockinette,
or just
color.
Yeah, just make it all one color. Yeah.
But that's why there are 3 colors, is so that way I could maintain my sequence here on the top of the foot, going all the way down. And I love 2-row stripes. It's like, this is my jam. Like, this makes me so happy. And then the toe on this one, I did a round toe. So I did a different type of toe. If you've made like hats and stuff, it's similar to like the top of a hat.
Yeah, you can
just in the rounds.
Yep.
So I did a round toe on this one, so you could try a different toe. So you get a different cuff, a different stitch, a different heel. And then for this one, obviously we maintain the stitch pattern down the top of the foot.
What needles are you using on that one?
Double points.
Double points again.
Both of my top downs are double points. My toe up, I do 2 circulars.
That's fine.
So this one is double points. Also, again, if you want to change it, you can. I'm just not going to show you how to change it on screen. But we're going to go through all of this. I really enjoyed making this one a lot. It was a brain teaser for me to design this one because of this and because I wanted to maintain. And then once I got going with this part, I was like, all right, I got this. Like, but it is a combination of knits and purls every row. So you don't have really a relaxation. Oh, it's just a knit row. It's because it's knit and purls every row, so that you can keep that garter raised. Yeah.
So all the tips that you're going to be talking about is how to keep track.
Yeah. But you can see there, see how it looks like it's like one color, and then you can see like it's just cool. Anyway, so that's the meditation.
Okay.
All right. Tranquility.
Into tranquility. So tranquility is my
oh, you have it. Okay.
I have it. It is my toe up. So toe up, I'm going to be honest, is my favorite. Because for me, increasing is much easier than decreasing. My brain remembers that better, but again, I feel like some people have one or the other. In this one, so we're working at the toe and then working all the way up. This one, I don't know what to call it. You start, I call it like a square. You start with a little rectangle. You make a tiny little swatch of rectangle, and then you work around. I don't know what it's called, kind of a toe. So we'll work on like literally the first day is just the toe. That's all you're going to do. And then we do all of the foot. The foot is all extended single crochets. And that's to make it, easiest, because this one has the most challenging stitch pattern. Just like the other one, this is what I'm talking about. You leave a big hole and then you come back in and you fill in the heel. So it has, because they're my favorite heels. That's why I like doing them. Because I find that like if you get a hole in your sock, in your heel, it's so easy to rip it out because it won't make the whole thing fall apart. You'll be able to put in another one whenever you want. This has mosaic crochet for your leg, which I really like, because let's say you don't want this stitch pattern, but maybe you fell in love with the mosaic crochet stitch pattern that Marley did for First Fall. You could put that there. Like, it's really fun. So there's no increasing on the leg. You just go and go until you're having fun. And then with the cuff, I show you 2 different ways of doing the cuff, but they're different. Anyway, this is my Tranquility.
All right. Okay, so my Tranquility, you're going to see the heel is not in it yet because I want to film it. That's why all the pictures have this purple line in it. So this is also toe up. This is toe up with 2 circulars. You do a wedge toe also. So you're going to work increases on either side.
And the last wedge toe was a decrease, and this one's increased.
Yeah. And this one you'll start with a Judy's Magic cast on 2 circulars. Again, if you want to transfer it over to another style, you can. You increase the toe box out to the number of stitches that we need. And you'll notice on this one, the stitch pattern, I did do it on the top of the foot, and I just did striping on the bottom. You don't have to. You can just keep striping the whole way. It's totally up to you. And then I did an afterthought heel or a forethought heel where I thought before I went on, I got to where I wanted my heel placement to be, and I used scrap yarn, one of the yarns for meditation, and I have all of those stitches there on scrap yarn, and I will go back and put all of those stitches on needles and then work a heel here. That can be, it can also be replaced if you want to. You would just have to go in and, secure with like a lifeline through stitches, but you could rip out the heel also. Mm-hmm. What's great about afterthought heels when you're working with mosaic stitches, because that's what this is mosaic stitches again. So we're doing slip stitches, and it's all stockinette mosaic stitches. So there's no purling, so it's all stockinette mosaic. When you're doing an afterthought heel, it's a great way to not have to interrupt a mosaic stitch. So you can be like, okay, this would be a good place for the heel. I can still see where the mosaic stitch would go above it and go below it, and it's a great way to interrupt. Same thing with fair isle or stranded knitting. Afterthought heels are really great and easy to do with that also. I transition from the top of the foot, which each size will have a different number of stitches on the top of the foot for the stitch pattern, because clearly if you don't want it all, anyways, it will. And then I didn't make the leg portion on this one too long, just because I was done knitting it. But you could make this longer. So I'm just being real. Like,
mine are all different lengths.
There's no specific reason why I did. Yeah. Like, it's like, oh, you're gonna run out of yarn, so I made this shorter. No, I was like, I'm done. I just wanted to be done. Mm-hmm. So I did the full stitch pattern around on the top, and then I went back to 1x1 ribbing, and then I did a stretchy bind off, because you want to be able to get that on over your foot. And after all that is done, this is when I will go back and pick all these out to add a heel. So I haven't done it yet because I haven't filmed this class yet. And I wanted to show you how to do it on an actual sock. So that's why it's still in there right now, because when I film it, this will be replaced. So when you look at the course, it has an arrow. It says heel goes here. So I didn't want people to think that purple was like part of the. It's just that's the extra yarn.
Speaking of amount of yarn, if you bought the kit, you are not running out of yarn.
No, you are not going to run out of yarn at all. No. No matter what size you make.
It doesn't matter what size. So we made the kit have enough yarn for the largest sizes. Mm-hmm. So in crochet, there's 4 sizes for each, because crochet socks don't have the stretch that a knit sock does. So you have to pick one that literally fits your foot. Again, it's in the course. We tell you how to pick it out. But that's why it's like, well, the knitting only has 3 sizes. Yeah, but knit socks are stretchy. Like, you can stretch them.
Stretch the crap out of them if you want.
Look, I'm pulling and that's it.
Yeah, I got that.
Crochet socks lengthen. We lengthen, we don't get wider.
And I just had it. I was going to give a good example of that. Oh. This is way too long. This does not fit a foot. So you want to be very careful about lengths and stuff. We'll give you measurements on what you need to work to and stuff. I do want to point out something. when I work on 2 circulars, my gauge is larger than when I work on double points. So you'll see that the needle sizes are actually the same for both. Like it's size 2 and size 2. But this gauge is going to be larger than this one. And it's because I get a larger gauge when I work 2 circulars. There's already a question in here, somebody asking about if I work 2 at a time socks, can I do the sweet tomato heel? I'm literally not going to answer that. Like I'm teaching the sweet tomato heel on double points because I am not efficient enough in 2 at a time socks. And I could tell you yes, but I'm not going to teach you how to do it. So
it doesn't really seem fair.
Yeah. I haven't done it, so I don't know.
It's one of those, like, you can watch the course and see if you want to do it with 2 at a time.
Yeah, that's kind of like where it is. But in the knitting courses, because you're knitting with size 2 needles, like very small needles, very small yarn to make these socks, right? We use straw. It's very small yarn. I am also giving you a worsted weight sort of practice sock pattern for each of mine. That way, those of you who are like, I'm not ready to jump in with this real small yarn yet, but I want to try this technique, you'll have a worsted weight version to work something up for like slipper socks. So that will be in the knitting one, just because I feel very strongly that I would like to do that. I would like to have that if I was knitting a course and I wasn't comfortable with the small yarn to begin with, but I know I want to ultimately make this yarn or make a sock with this yarn because this is my favorite, right? But I wanted to make sure people know, don't let it.
We should be clear with knitting. You can make socks with worsted weight yarn.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
In crochet, you absolutely cannot make socks with worsted weight yarn. If you make a sock with worsted weight yarn, you're making a slipper.
You're making a slipper.
Because that's like, if you took my my sock course from before, it's like my big thing I have. Everybody has a hot button issue. This is my stupid soapbox of, if you can't put your foot in your if you can't put your foot in your shoe, that is not a sock. You're wearing a slipper.
Yeah.
Which there is absolutely nothing wrong with. I have cozy slipper socks all the time, but it's different. And so I don't want anybody to like spend all their time making something in crochet and then they can't wear it in their shoes. That makes me sad. So like, I really like people to understand what they're making. With all that said, crocheters, I don't know if it's just the way my brain works versus socks. But I find crocheting socks very easy because we are really used to going in the round and doing all sorts of weird stuff all the time. Sure, I'm gonna stick my hook over here. And there's nothing weird with crochet socks. There's no strange, there's no, what are you talking about? We don't have any of that. So crocheters,
knitters, you're gonna have a lot of that. No,
it's different. Like knitters, it's so different. So when Marley's saying that she's making you, like, if it's your very first time doing this, follow the worsted weight pattern, and then there's a reason for it. There's a reason why, like, crocheters, we don't have that.
Yeah,
because you don't need it.
You don't need it.
All that you're doing, crocheters, if you haven't used tiny, yarn before, that's it.
Yeah.
All the rest of the stitches, there's nothing exciting.
Right.
I'm assuming you guys have done single crochets.
Yeah. And knitters, like, obviously I know some of you are scared of double points. I promise you, I'm going to make them. They're the easiest. I think they're just great. Yes, they take practice. Like, that's the biggest thing. I could say, oh, they're easy because I've done them a lot now, but they do take practice. But I'm going to give you all of the tools that I have learned over the years to not get ladders and to make sure that my stitches look good and all of that goes together. So don't let the fact that they're double points scare you. Like, you'll be fine and you can practice on a worsted weight pattern as we go along.
So again, this is a make along.
Yes.
So the way we're doing it is it's going to start on Friday, and on Friday, like we do, like
March 14th,
is that this is going to be just a little bit of work on Friday. You're going to do a little bit of work because if you have bought it already, you'll see that when you go in, it'll have a supply list and it'll have a gauge. And so if you wanted to work on all that stuff now, have at it. If not, you can work on it on Friday. Like we gave you some time. So we're just going to give a little bit of work to do, whether it's a toe or it's a cuff. You're just going to do a little bit. Saturday and Sunday is your big chunk of work. So Saturday and Sunday, think of it as your leg or your foot, like, or your leg and your heel and then your foot, whatever. It's your big chunk of work.
Mm-hmm.
Monday is again a little bit of work. So it's either your toe or your cuff again to finish it off. That's kind of like little amount of work, big amount of work, big amount of work, a little amount of work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the make along is going to progress. So in your course, each one will open up as if you see it, it'll open up on that day just to keep us all
on the same page
and rolling.
Now, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, oh my goodness, we're so silly. You go first.
Okay. If you are not available on March 14th and you're thinking to yourself, I just can't do this. No. That's the beauty of the Marley Birdhouse. You have unlimited access anytime you want to work on your socks. So if you wanted to get them now, and you could start on the 14th and maybe you're like, I can't do it in 4 days. It's going to take me a lot longer. Totally fine. Everything is going to be there for you. It does not go away. And so that's part of the beauty of doing it all in a course also, is it's all in one place for you.
Awesome. So every time another something opens up, you're going to have your written directions and you're going to have your video. So there's going to be 2 things to do when we're all done, or at some point during the weekend. You're going to get your full PDF, what has all of the directions in it. There's nothing. Everybody's a different kind of learner. So if you'd rather read versus watching me, that's fine. Same for Marley. Like, it doesn't matter. We try to put the information in multiple ways so that you can understand. Like, our notes will have the tips that we're saying in the video, and it's all kind of works together because we know that everybody kind of learns and does things differently. Mm-hmm. The only thing I ask when we do make alongs, I always say it every time, if you got the pattern beforehand, like Marley's going to give you, especially for the
pattern,
she's giving you the pattern for the worsted weight one early. If let's say the heel hasn't opened yet, wait until the heel opens to ask your questions, because we find that it stresses people out.
Yes.
And they were like, you have a heel?
Yeah.
I don't have a heel yet. And we don't need any extra stress on just technical.
Right.
And so just
hey,
that's
Robin,
all we're asking.
I have to have a bio break real quick. I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
All right.
I did see earlier on, if anybody has my crochet sock class, there was a crochet book that went along with it of like, what was it? 25 more socks you can do. You could switch in and out any of those stitch patterns for any of the socks. You want to make sure that the multiples are the same, and that's all in the book and what we talked about in my crochet course, the big honkin' course. I will say that if you haven't gotten that crochet sock course and you're interested, there is a coupon code in each one of these patterns to get it. If you're interested, if you get more excited about socks after you do it. And I'm trying to think what other extras are in there. I can't think of any other extras. Okay. Great question. So Rebecca's asking, is there enough yarn to make both the knit and crochet socks? In some cases, if you're making the very smallest size, maybe, but not in all cases. So crochet, we use more yarn. we do. And and some of it makes sense, right? So in Tranquility, obviously we use all of this dark blue. So if you're making, the larger sizes, you're going to need both balls. That's why there's 2 balls. And you use it all. In Meditation, the yarn colors are kind of more evenly used. Not really. You still use a ton of the other one. So the crochet ones are hard, but maybe the smallest size, maybe. I don't know. I would definitely get more yarn before you start. I will say that's one of the bonuses in Marley's. Marley, now that you're back, the other little bonus that she has in hers is about yarn amounts.
Yeah. So I will be talking about really when you're making, especially the toe up, like we're going to separate our yarn into equal measurements. So that way we're using all of our yarn. So we know that we're not going to use more yarn for one sock than we'll use on another sock. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how much yarn I used for each one and how you can kind of use a little bit of math, not a whole lot because I don't like math, to kind of think about how you're going to, how much yarn are you going to need. So I talk a little bit about that in my course, all of the courses. I'm trying to think of what else I talk about. I can't even think off the top of my head. I think those are the big ones.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is not this weekend. Now next weekend starts the 14th. So there's plenty of time. We are using Stroll from We Crochet. It's super affordable. All these things we were thinking about of like, what's the most affordable things that you can use? But you don't have to use Stroll. You can use any sock yarn that you want. If you get a variegated by chance, for mine, I always think it's easiest if you like mix a variegated with a solid. I wouldn't use 2 variegateds. I just think you'll lose where you are in the stitches. But you can, use whatever supplies that you want. You will not need a ton of yarn, I will say. But crocheters do need more than knitters.
I am putting in the chat, I put a link to the Stroll, my affiliate link to the Stroll yarn if you want to go check it out. Right. I also put a link to the worsted weight yarn on Knit Picks also. So if you were like, you know what, I'm going to get some worsted weight and some Stroll to kind of cover my bases, you could do that. You could use Brava, you could use Swish, you could use anything you want when it comes to the worsted weight ones. I'm not going to show them as far as using like a reinforcement yarn or anything. You can if you want, but I'm just using straight up wool, or with the Brava, clearly that's acrylic. Because it's meant to be a practice sock. So yeah, that's how that goes. But the links are in the.
I will say with the Stroll, a lot of them are back ordered. So if you want to use a different yarn, it's totally fine.
Because we bottom out. Yeah.
Great question, Diane. I would say no. You want 2 colors.
I would say no. You want 2 colors.
Because I know, like for all of them, you want that other color.
Yeah.
Because you'll miss the stitches.
Yeah. Mine are all mosaic of some sort. Well, the chevron's not mosaic, it's illusion, but the other 2 are mosaic. So you got to have the 2 colors.
Yeah.
Definitely. How's everybody else feeling? I mean, I hope you guys are getting excited about it. I mean, this is one of the few times that we're doing a make along that is not also free. So, I mean, and it's because it's 6 patterns. It's so much work. And if we were to put everything together, like we said, it would not be cost effective. So
no, we made it as cheap as humanly possible.
Yeah.
On purpose.
Yeah.
So that everyone could join in. And I saw like if you bought 3, is there a discount? No. Unfortunately, we
didn't even give a discount to the people who bought the boxes. So it's not like we're like, they got it, but you did it. And everybody is the same thing for sure.
We tried our darndest.
Yeah. We got everything down
to make it
And I just want to make sure, like, if you, for the knitters especially, like if you're like, I'm a confident knitter, but I've never made socks. I want you to make sure, and I'll talk about this in the courses, you have to give yourself some grace. Like it might not be easy the first time. You might really struggle and be like, oh my gosh, I wasted my money. I mean, very valid. You might, or you might not. The point though is, say you're frustrated, you could walk away and come back 2 weeks later and all of a sudden it could click.
Yeah.
Or you could walk away, get more advanced in your knitting, and then come back a year later and it might click. But it'll all be there. And the information that we're giving, I promise you, the information I give you is some of the most top-notch information when it comes to knitting. I'm going to toot my own horn. I am a good instructor. I am. You know what? There's few things in life that you get to say you're very good at, right?
And
I'm a good dancer. I'm a terrible singer. I am a great instructor.
You are very good. And if you can't tell, we're very, very passionate about socks, because like it's very rare when we talk about projects that we get like so kind of mean.
Yeah.
No, mean,
I know, I don't need it to be mean.
We are just like,
I just love making, and yeah, there are some, for knitting, there are some good sock tutorials out there. There are people who only do socks in their YouTube stuff, and I absolutely applaud them. It's just my business model, my style, everything is just different than theirs, and that's not a bad thing. It's just we're just different. And so I like the idea of holding your hand and walking you through either a fairly basic sock. It's not basic, but a fairly basic sock like aromatherapy, something that if you did game day, at least you already know the stitch pattern, so you're kind of comfortable with it. And it's a basic sock construction, to something even more complicated like meditation or tranquility. Maybe you've never done toe up before. Like I want to hold your hand, because I feel like once you have that sort of that basic understanding, you can move on and do exceptionally wonderful things. Like I already have, Robin knows this, I already have 2 other sock courses set up in the back burner for knitting that I want to do, that these will be great like stepping stones for that, because I really love teaching socks. I love making socks, and there are so many possibilities out there. Like what I'm going to teach you is not like this is the end all and be all. The possibilities are endless. I'm just going to show you one way.
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
There's so many possibilities.
I mean, yeah.
That's
the limits. That's kind of the cool part. Anyway,
so that's,
we've been prattling on. We should let everybody.
I know. I'm sorry. So that's all the sock stuff. So we released it. We got it out on Friday. I was very excited. And then I posted about it on Instagram a little bit over the weekend. I sent out an email today. If you are part of the Marley Bird newsletter, and you are not already part of the Buy Crafty Bestie box, or you have not, or if you have already purchased one of the sock courses, you didn't get the email. Like I was like, I'm not going to send you an email for something you already got. But everybody else, you should get the email. I want to say just really quickly, because we've had some instances where people will buy something in the Marley Bird house and then they unsubscribe. And then we literally can't send you anything else. So like you buy another thing and you're waiting for your purchase confirmation or your instructions, and you're like, I never got them. It's because you unsubscribe. So my email system will not add you back in and resubscribe you. Like we can't send you anything.
Legally,
like,
we can't.
Yeah.
So legally you have to resubscribe.
So please stay subscribed. Even if you just put me in a folder of, this is the Marley Birdhouse folder, so you can get your stuff. I don't care. I mean, ideally, I'd like you to look up my emails, but I just want to make sure you're aware. We want to be able to get a hold of you.
Let's say it this way too. If we've been talking about this and you bought the box, because we had a lot of people who bought the box who were unsubscribed, and you haven't seen any emails from us already,
that's why.
You might be one of them.
Yeah.
We tried our best to get around it.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things that was one of our technical fun on Thursday. But.
Yeah. So we had to put you in the course without able to add you to the email system. So we can't send you anything.
Get the course. Yeah.
So as we are going to send out various things to people, good things, you won't get them.
Yeah. And we should say, like, if you don't get the emails, I will say, like, when you buy the course, so if you're buying one, you buy the course, you'll get a receipt right away. And then you're going to get the instructions on how to log in and all that. Sometimes that email takes 10 minutes to come through.
Yep.
We don't know why. We were trying to fix it nonstop. And that's when our brains melted. That's why we were like, technical issues, man.
Yep.
But after that time period, if you haven't seen anything, please email us.
Contact@marleybird.com.
We want to make sure that you're getting your stuff like 100%.
Yep. Because I mean, we are not. I had somebody once tell me I was a scammer, and I was like, really? I'm not. I promise you I'm not. What do you need? Like, just come and tell me what you need. I'll get you what you need. So yeah, we want to get you all the information that you guys request for sure. Thank you, Cindy. Cindy says, please remind people to smash that like button. That does really help. Yeah, that helps a lot. All of your interaction. I don't know if I know I talk about this all the time. All of your interaction, the likes, the comments, the shares, putting it in a playlist, watching it more than 10 minutes, at least more than 10 minutes. All of that lets the algorithm know, hey, people are liking this. And so then it'll show this to other people who like the same things that you do, so on and so forth. So like right now, I'll get like 1,500 to 2,000 views. And then I'll see somebody else who I totally don't know. Maybe they have like 15,000 subscribers and they'll have 45,000 views in a day. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Anyways, regardless, all of that is to say thank you. Thank you for smashing that like button.
Yeah.
Okay. That's everything I have. That's a lot. That's
we
a lot.
talked for a really long time. I'm sorry. We were long-winded today, guys.
I know. One person did ask if there was a special group for the make along. We are using the Marley's Minions group. So last time we did the Buy Crafty Bestie box, we had a Buy Crafty Bestie box group because we only did that make along with the people who purchased the box. This time, because it's the box, but there's also a make along that is open to the public, we are using the Marley Bird House. So that way, or not the Marley Bird House, Marley's Minions. So that way we can, I lost my train of thought because I messed up. The Marley's Minions group on Facebook is what we are using for all of the communication, for questions and such. So that way we can all interact with one another. So I just want to be very clear on that. If you have any questions, email us. Ask us in the group. Don't forget to use all the hashtags for all the things.
Yeah. We really do want to make this a fun thing and have everybody enjoy it. So please ask whatever questions you need to ask. We're totally cool.
Somebody did ask, is this taking the place of Tournament of Stitches? No. All right, now in my world, Tournament of Stitches is going to start on time. In reality, it's probably going to be a week or two late. I mean, because we usually start it at the same time of March Madness. It might start a couple weeks after March Madness. We aren't sure yet. But yes, we're still having Tournament of Stitches this year. So I just want to make sure we are doing that. Okay. Linda, you bought 4. Did you get all knit ones, Linda, and 1 crochet? Or I mean, all crochet or 1 knit? Which one did you do? That's so funny. Cindy says, Marley, glutton for punishment. LOL. Yes, very much so. Do we need numbers for this project? Do we need what does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
Elise, what does that mean? Do we need hashtags for this project?
Oh my gosh. We're tired. I can't believe you figured that out. That's amazing. Elise,
that is such a Gen X thing that we just did. Oh my gosh.
We just showed our age.
Yes, there are hashtags. I wrote them in the blog post. I could not tell you what they are right now, but they are there. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe we just did that. That is hilarious. Yeah. Thanks, Tanya. Thank you. Oh, and with that, we are going to call this a close, everybody. I really hope that you will consider joining us for the make along. Don't forget, Wednesday this week, I will be teaching you how to do the squares for that shawl. I will be using stitch diagrams that Robin's going to supply for me, so that will be super handy. If you want to get the yarn, I put the supply list for that shawl in the video description box so that if you wanted to order it and have it on hand, you could have it. You don't have to, but you can. Other than that, any questions, anything, we'll see you over in the Minions group or on Instagram or wherever it may be. All right, that's it from us, everybody. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away.